Thanks, Steve. That's
You
a good
really did start it, didn't you?
That's a great kickoff. All right, so we'll go ahead and get our call started tonight. It's November 17th, and tonight Steve is going to discuss with us the success he's been having working with realtors and getting involved with realtor groups. And this is really something we can apply to multiple different industries and also just group presentations in general. So I'm going to go ahead and give the floor to Steve. And if everybody wants to just mute themselves while Steve is sharing with all of us. And then when Steve's done, then maybe we can update with any successes or questions or anything that anybody has. So love you all, and take the floor, Steve.
Thank you, Tracy. What you're going to hear tonight is nothing you haven't already heard. I'm just going to tell you. This group that I've been working with is a group of realtors in the next county over. And some of you heard the story where about 3.5 years ago, a lady, I was working on cell phones, repairing cell phone screens at the time, and saw on Facebook she dropped her phone, and she said she's looking for a new phone. I said, why don't you just fix it? And she's like, how? And I said, well, just bring it to me, I'll fix it. So I fixed it, and she paid me, and I sent her a card and brownies and said, thanks for your business. Appreciate you trusting me working on your phone or what have you. So she calls me up. She says, that just blew me away. I never dreamed I'd get something in the mail, more or less a card and a box of brownies. So I said, well, it's just the way I like to say thank you to my customers because I appreciate you. And she says, you have to come to my realtor group and show this. And this is before we had the app. And so I went over to her group. There was probably 9 people there and showed it to them. And 3 or 4 signed up as retail customers and what have you, and used it on and off. And then she had me back the following year, and a few more signed up, and then had me back last year, and a few more signed up, and then one signed up as a distributor. So I was collecting some customers that way, and it was just a really good group. So last year I said, hey, would it be okay if I just came to every monthly meeting, sat in, because it was kind of a generic training. It was for all the realtors, different offices. And I said, I'll be in charge of taking the group picture and sending a thank you card to your speaker. I said, I'll take that on as kind of my dues, which there aren't any dues, but I'm not a realtor and I was kind of outsider. So that's the thing I'll do because I can do that. She said, well, you don't have to. I said, well, I'd love to though. So that's kind of how I integrated into that group. So I would show up at the meetings. They would have a loan officer or the Chamber of Commerce come in, and I would take some pictures and send them a card. And I didn't do a presentation every time. I was sitting in the audience and did that and made sure we got the group picture. So that went on for a while. And then this year I called Michelle and I said, hey, I'd love to come back again. Christmas is right around the corner. And she said, well, we really don't have any openings for until like February to get a speaker. And I said, listen, I only need 10 minutes and I can even stay after I just show people what I got, I can hang around. So she said, come on. So that was last week or week before, whenever that was. I went and did a meeting. There was about 30 people in the room and kind of the same response. They mostly know me. There's probably 10 of them that are my customers already. One of them a distributor, and we chit-chatted. There was one guy in the room that just lit up, and he's like, I gotta understand this more. And so I sat and talked to him for a few minutes. He said, I want you to come talk to my group. I said, well, who's your group? He said, well, I am the president-elect for the LBAR Association, which is the Lexington Bluegrass Realtor Association. It has about 800 members. I said, well, let's do it. So what he wanted to do first was get me into his office, which is Remax Realty, Creative Realty in Lexington. And they've got 80 some odd realtors. So today was their Thanksgiving dinner appreciation, and guest speaker was yours truly. So I got to eat Thanksgiving dinner with him, and he said, you got 10 minutes. I said, 10 minutes. Okay, so what am I going to do in 10 minutes? We're already doing in the back of my head, I'm doing at least 15. They're going to have to throw me out. So they introduced me. I mean, it just rolled out the red carpet. They introduced me. They had my picture up on the screen, and they said, Steve Gillett, send out cards. And I got up there and I plugged my phone into their projector, and it threw it up on the great big screen. And there were supposed to be 60 there, and there were 45 in attendance, roughly 45 to 49. And, I told them that I was doing good until I saw my picture on the screen. Then I got nervous, and that kind of broke the ice. And I just, I put my, I don't have it here. Have you all? I got it right here. Hang on, let me get a picture because this is important. All right, so I put this up on the screen. All right, this card that I got in the mail, which is me and my daughter. We're hiking. I put that up on the screen behind me. I put it on my phone, just laid my phone down, and I picked that card up, and I told my story about going to the mailbox and it being a rough week, and I was just done with it. I mean, I wasn't suicidal or anything, but I was just done. It was a rough week, and I just ready for the weekend. I start pulling all these bills out of the mailbox, and it just, this is not making it any better. Then I pull that card out of the mailbox, and it's just like somebody flipped a switch. I got excited. I got emotional. I was like, what is this? I was instantly transported back to the woods, and I can still remember the conversation I was having with my daughter at the time. And so I turned it over, and I picked up the phone. I called Shannon. I said, hey, thanks for the card. What is this? He said, well, it's send out cards. It's a system I got where I can send cards in the mail. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of anything like that, but I want to be a part of it because I like the way it made me feel. And I like the idea here about sending positivity out. Because a lot of people say, Steve, you're a positive guy, you're a positive thinker. I like to think that I'm a positive action taker. And I took positive action that day and joined Send Out Cards and So I told my story, 3 minutes. Then I said, so let me show you how that card got from Facebook to my mailbox, and I'm standing here today. And I just got my phone, I pulled it up, and I said, hey, the guy that invited me here today, John, I snapped a picture in the hallway. I made a card. I put his picture on the front. I said, I've already sent John brownies, and he loves them, but he also told me he likes sea salt caramels. I pulled up the gift store. I flipped through, and all this is going on the screen behind me, I throw sea salt caramels, hit enter. I add his contact. I hit send. I said, I just sent John a card. It'll be here in about 4 or 5 days with caramels. And there was one guy sitting there. He set up. He said, I've been looking for this. So that was cool. So then I got a little nervous. But then I said, all right, let me show you how you can do this. That's cool and everything. And that's the way we do it. We throw a picture on a card and we type a message or speak a message in. And I said, that works good. And when you get good at it, you can do it in under a minute. I said, I was talking and everything. It took me about 2 minutes. I said, but let me show you where you can do it in like 30 seconds. And you can have a card that's pre-built because there's only so many reasons why we meet up with people. We meet somebody for the first time, and that's a nice to meet you card. And then somebody does something nice to us. That's a thank you card. Somebody celebrates a birthday. That's a birthday card. So all those, I said, I've built just campaigns. And what I mean by built campaigns is I just pre-made a card that says what I already want to say, has my signature, has my branding on the back, and I showed them what that was. And I said, let me show you how that works. Let's say I just met. I said, well, let's send a thank you card. So Michelle was there, and she was the lady that originally introduced me to this group. I said, I'm here because she introduced me to this group 3.5 years ago. So let's send her a thank you card. I just did the campaign button. I did the pearl white thank you card. And I said, I'm not even going to add our picture. It's got the handshake, and I showed them what it said. I hit enter. I said, I'm not going to add a gift. And somebody said, you're not going to send her brownies? I said, okay, we'll send her brownies. So I just went click, click, brownies, click, click, send. I said, your card's in the mail. And they're like, really? I said, well, unless I go in and cancel that card because me and Michelle have it out. I don't want to send her the card. I can do that prior to midnight or roughly. And of course, that everybody got a laugh out of that, but they got it. So the guy's tapping his arm. He says, listen, I love what you're doing. I love what you're saying here. He said, but we got to kind of move on. What I'd like for you to do is, can you hang around afterwards? I said, absolutely. So I got to get your business card. If you're at all interested and you want to hear from me ever again, I got to get your business card. And then I got a little on the internet thing where they can go on and put their name and email and phone number, and it sends it to my phone. I said, get your phone out right now, go to this website, type it in, and just do that right now in case I don't get your business card. So that was at 12:30. I actually got there at 12, ate dinner with them. 12:30, I did my presentation. I left their office at 4:30. Okay, here are the results. Here's what happened. There were about 45 people in attendance. So first of all, what my presentation was is basically what I do every time. I tell my story. I show them how to send a card. The only thing I didn't do is show them the comp plan because that was not the time and place. But I showed them how they could send a card. We talked a little bit how top of mind awareness by using this special product would work for them, and then I told them how to get a hold of me. So there was nothing. It was not about me at all because I was stumbling all over the place and I was blah blah blah. And I got a video of that presentation that I'll post on YouTube and make sure you all get the links if you want to watch it. So there was about 45 people in attendance. It was a 20-minute presentation that I ended up about 19 minutes. I collected 6 business cards. So people actually handed me 6 business cards. But 18 people went onto my website, my little online website, and entered their information. And I got an email from that website saying, I want you to call me. 18 people. Some of them were the ones that handed me business cards, but some of them had to leave. So the results of today so far, 1 holiday bundle sold, and I added a preferred customer subscription along with it. 1 personal bundle sold and added the preferred customer subscription with it, and then 2 PCs, 2 preferred customers. So sold 4 accounts today. So it was pretty outstanding. Now I've got basically 18 people. Well, actually, yeah, I got 16 people because 2 of them are already on that list. I got 16 people that I have to follow up with and make sure they get the app downloaded and get, find out what they want to do basically. So just from that meeting today. Now, the guy that invited me there, he said, so how many realtors are using this in Central Kentucky? And I said, honestly, I don't know. I said, I've talked to a handful, part of the group, that I was with last time, and I have 10 or so customers. And there are a lot of realtors in send out cards that use this. But I said, it's kind of like most things, John. Most people quit most things. Most people don't do the things they're supposed to do. If you will use this and apply it, I'm going to tell you, your business will blow up. And we talked a little bit about Gail and Steve Zentek's story and Jim McCord's story. And I gave them a sheet that had 4 different testimonials on there. I screenshotted them from Facebook, and I did that, copied my card on it, and gave that to a few of them. He said, the reason I'm asking, Steve, is I don't want you to go out and tell all these other realtors that are competitors what you're doing here. I said, well, that's kind of my business. He said, well, what I'd like to do is real soon, I want to take you, let's get the card. I want to take you to my other offices in Georgetown, Louisville, and I want you to show them so we can get them set up too. And so I think I've kind of found my niche, and I found some cheerleaders that are, he pretty much got up before I did with his box of brownies and said, hey, I met Steve last week at the realtor meeting in Clark County. He had this really cool app, and he said that, you could snap a picture and send it in a card and get a box of brownies. And y'all know what a box of brownies looks like. And he said, so here's my box of brownies, and I want to show you what. He said, I got it in the mail. I was like, well, what is this? And he opens it up, and he pulls a card out. It's the Pearl card, and on the inside had his picture. It's really cool. Actually, it had his business card because I didn't have a picture with him at the time. So I took a picture of his business card, which looked like a little house. It's kind of cool. He was real proud of his business card when he gave it to me. I'm like, no, that's cool. He's like, yeah, I like those. So I put that in that card in that little window frame, typed my little message with my number, and he said, there's 1 brownie, and I've already eaten on 1, so they're good. I can testify to that. But he said, this guy said, this is how you do it, and he did it. And, that's what we need to be doing. And he is in charge of the marketing, and when new agents come into that brokerage, he's in charge of getting them set up on they have an email system that sends out realtor-based emails and a direct mail system, and he wants this to be part of their personal touch or high touch system. And he didn't want to be a distributor because I talked to him about that. I thought, it'd be perfect if he's the distributor and we just place everybody under him and let him build it over there. And he said, well, I don't want to do that because I want to use the system and I want to promote the system, but I don't want people that I'm promoting this to that are my subordinates, basically, within his organization structure, to think that I'm making some money off of this. And they're thinking, well, the only reason he promotes it is because he's making money. So he says, I don't want nothing to do with that. I want to be a power user of the system, and I want to teach our realtors on our team to be power users of the system. And I said, I'm your guy. So that's pretty much what we did, and I am spent. It wasn't really stressful. Building up to the meeting, I built it up bigger in my head than what it is, of course, because I was thinking, this is where I wanted to be 3.5 years ago when Michelle brought me into the first group, and it was almost a flop because I went in and it was just like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was so nervous. Didn't have an app, and I'm flipping my laptop around and showing people. It's kind of crazy. I'm trying to show in a video and walking it around the room. But I didn't quit. And, we talk about you got to show up. And then in my mind, I think, well, I just got to show up for one meeting and it's like a one and done type deal. Well, no, it's a 3.5-year process of going to all these meetings. And when you go in, they know who I am, even though I'm not a realtor, I'm not in that clique, but I'm the card guy. I'm the brownie guy. And when there's somebody new that comes into those meetings, they say, you need to go get the card guys, the brownie guy's card over there. He'll take care of you. So just by showing up and not quitting and being consistent with that, I've gotten to where I am now with this realtor group. And I'm looking forward to where this is going to go, because he's talking about, and it's the MLS system where they put all their leads in or all their houses and all that. He's talking about right now it's getting ready to go to be a statewide system, which will open it up to where they would be able to work with other realtors statewide. And he says, I'm going to take you and introduce you to those guys. And then he's talking about maybe down the road, this maybe could be a nationwide thing, but I'm just tickled that this group has accepted me in. But, I think part of that is me telling Michelle, I'm going to show up. If you will allow me, I'm going to show up and I'm going to be here. I'm just going to be a fly on the wall, but I'll take your pictures and I'll send a thank you card and a box of brownies. So I was out a little bit of money, but it's just a drop in the bucket. It was like an investment. And I always sent those cards on behalf of that group. So on the back of the card, it had my branding, but on the inside of the card, I always said from Clark County Realtor Association Group. I didn't sign it with my name or anything like that. I always send it on behalf of the group. And then I would always send Michelle a card. And so I don't know. It's just showing up, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, because you don't know where that little network's going to kind of spread out. But I didn't do anything that we haven't been told to do as far as how to show it. And really, I did less than what we normally do. I didn't show them the comp plan or anything. I'm just basically kind of in the mindset of selling customer bundles right now to try to get my volume up. And it was important to me to figure out kind of what they were looking for and what they were needing as far as Christmas cards and relationship cards and how many they need and all that. So pretty excited.
Well, show your biz runner to everybody.
So I've not put everybody in. I've put the people who purchased the products from me today. So just by adding, let me get it here. So just by adding the purchases, I got a gold medal for enrolling. And then I've got a bronze medal for presenting and a bronze medal for follow-up, I think. And all I did, of course, I still need to go in and load all.
You would definitely have a gold medal in list.
Everything will be gold once I enter everybody in. And but here's the thing. It's the way I've done this is really not the way we're supposed to. We're supposed to be consistently showing this to people every day, where I've not shown it to anybody for weeks. And then I show it to a group of 30 people and get some leads 1 week. And then a week or two later, I show it to a group of 50 people and get some leads. So it's unusual, but what I like about it and what I'm going to continue to do is try to do that, because to me, that's leverage. Instead of me having to sit down with 45 people and spend 30 minutes each with them, I spent 20 minutes with them. Well, even if you consider me being there for 4 hours today, if I spent the whole day, there's no way I could have shown the business to 45 people individually in that amount of time and enroll people. So one of the things that Jordan told me he told us at convention, and he also said it again on that training call we had, or that mentoring call thing and coaching call. And he told me, he said, you need to get in front of people who have influence, people who have large networks of people. Those are the people you need to focus in on. Don't just focus in on the people in the bottom of the networks. Go to the top of the network and figure out who that is. And that's who you need to try to get in front of. So that's kind of been my focus. And that is actually an I am statement that I've been practicing. So I'm looking for the people who are like the broker or the marketing manager. And since real estate agents get this, that's kind of where I'm going to run this right now. That's where I'm going to stick. So we'll see.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you all. I appreciate you guys.
You know,
Steve, I think that's so awesome. You're going to get to Cancun before any of us, so way to go. And I think the big lesson in there is how patient you were, which is not my strong suit, as Tracy knows. But you were very patient to get to that influential person. And it takes a lot sometimes. But, man, once the ball starts rolling, this is going to be fun.
Right. One of the things I'll let this out. I'll tell you, because sometimes people think, Steve, you're so organized and you're disciplined and all that. And that's what I hear a lot of times. But I'm just going to be honest and tell you that when that meeting rolled around on my calendar once a month, I did not want to go. I felt like I just gone over there and spinning my wheels, and it's the same old people. And no offense to them, but, it's just the same people. It was humdrum. It was good every time I got there and got to meet them. But I'm like, I don't really care about a loan officer saying you got to do this form and do that form. And I missed it. I didn't understand why I was there until, sometime last year, about midway through. I was like, I'm looking at this all wrong. This is an opportunity for me to serve these people, to actually let them know that by me showing up every time, I'm serious about this being a tool that can really help them. And I'm not going to give up on them. I'm going to keep showing it to them and keep showing it to them and keep showing it to them. And I also do that by setting some cards. So I started randomly picking people out of the group that were there and sending them cards, thanking them for being there. So like I would make it a point, if whoever I talked to and kind of hit it off during that meeting, if it's 3 people, I made a mental note and jotted that down. And I went ahead and sent them the same card that I sent the presenter that had, the group spanned across the inside, thanking them for coming. And I would just say, hey, it was good seeing you at the meeting. One of those people was Jim Woodrum, and they bought the holiday bundle today. Yeah. So, and he's seen my presentation probably 6 times. And then he wanted to have lunch with me this week. We had lunch, and it was being persistent. And, I've learned a lesson on patience. That's for sure. Just keep showing up and enjoy the process. Don't look for the reward now, and just know and trust that the reward will be later. And I still don't even look at the couple $100 that I got off these bundles of there, whatever it is really being the reward. The reward is I have a potential to get in front of an even larger group and expose even more people to this that can help them. I want to, and like I was telling those guys, I want to hear your stories of when people start calling. I said, this will happen. People are going to start calling you and asking you, thanking you for the cards and asking you about these brownies. And they're going to tell you a story. You're going to start hearing stories where if you focus in and send people cards that are on your mind, they're going to start calling and say, I don't know how you knew this, but there was something going on in my life and you just made my day. You cheered me up. And if you get in that mindset, I said, it'll change your life too in there. So.
Awesome. Very good. Well, like I said at the start of the call, this is, Steve's doing this with realtor groups, but we can all do this with other groups and other industries. And Sue's a member of a BNI group. So on behalf of her BNI group, she can send not just from herself, but if they bring guest speakers in outside of their BNI group, Sue can send a thank you card to that guest speaker. She attended a BNI training. She sent thank yous to the people that facilitated that. All of us in different capacities outside of our network marketing careers, we are all involved in things in our communities. Maybe it's the, parents association at our children's school, or it's a committee at our church, or it's some sort of a charity that we volunteer at. We can all be that person inside those things that's the designated thank you card sender. And that's one way to be using the system so that people see that we're not just people that are out there selling the system, but we're people that are using the system the way it was intended to be used. And whether that use comes back to us through that particular sending, or whether benefits come to us, because we're sending out to send, not sending out to get. And so if we use the system in those ways, it will come back to us. Like Steve said, for 3.5 years, he sat in that room and sent a thank you card to the guest speaker that week on behalf of the group. And here he is 3.5 years later, and everybody thinks, you know what? For 3.5 years, Steve's been in this room and he didn't cram it down our throats. Yeah. He was patient with us and stuck by us and wants to see us succeed. And that's why they trust you, Steve, Right. Yeah. So awesome.
Well, I think it's smart too that you continue to use your branding on the back of the card. Even though you're sending it on behalf of someone else, over the course of 3 years, how many people have seen your branding? I mean, it really sets you up as an expert in your field just by having all of that, basically your little billboard out there to so many people over that time.
Right.
And who knows if anybody ever flips it on the back and acts on it. But everybody who gets a card, it's automatic. We always flip it over on the back. And because we're always, at least that's what I've noticed. Even when somebody gets a birthday card, like you give them a birthday card at a birthday and they open it up and they read it. Oh, thank you. There's just a habit. People just look on the back. Mm-hmm. So if you have your branding on there, it's like, oh, wow. That's not a Hallmark. That's not a Walmart. That's not a dollar store.
That's a Steve Gullett.
Or that's Tracy Runge. You know what I'm saying? And like this one here, you all probably know who that one is.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
That's Lisa Boudier. I call her Giggles. So I don't know how you say her last name. She sent me a birthday card.
That's awesome.
So she's got her branding on it, and it says, "You are so loved," and that's her thing.
I love that.
And then Chris Smith, he sent me one. It's got his branding, and it says, "America Bridges to Prosperity." So that's his little branding, So that, like you said, Sue, that is a little billboard. It's all these little billboards kind of going out. So that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Steve obviously had a lot of great success this week. Does anybody else have any bundles or new customers or any other meetings or appointments that they had that they want to talk about that are successes for the week?
Well, I shared the app with somebody in our BNI group, and he was kind of so-so, and got an email when I was coming back from Phoenix. He signed up as a customer.
Nice.
Awesome.
And I've got a meeting Friday. I went to the Rotary Club, and I have a meeting with a guy from the water company tomorrow. And there's a woman in Phoenix that keeps texting me how much she loves the brownies and the app. She's really excited about it.
Very cool. Very good.
Pipeline for this.
That was noisy, Gullett. Am I making funny faces again?
I did it.
Well, I think you guys all saw that Tracy and I drove to Lincoln and did a booth at the Lincoln Independent Business Association. And
yay.
We thought we had some great contacts. I don't know how it'll pan out. I sent a couple emails to people who said they wanted to see it right away and they didn't reply. So they haven't got my card yet, though. Yeah, exactly.
So, I did post in the group, I think, that I sold a holiday bundle on Tuesday. That customer, actually, I called her back and touched base with her yesterday. And through our discussion yesterday, it came to our attention that it was probably a better situation for her to have the marketing bundle than the holiday bundle. So we did call home office and get that switched over. So basically, they just refunded the holiday bundle and then they purchased the marketing bundle. But they want to use the system going forward, and they didn't really care if they had the pearlized holiday cards. So to them, it was more important to have the MRM and the other things. So
they will have holiday cards anyway, because that comes in the marketing bundle.
no, the holiday cards don't. The first impression kit does.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. The realtor that I had that got the marketing bundle, she had the holiday cards in hers.
Yeah, but it's I think that was an error, because that's the home office is saying the only way to get the holiday bundle and the regular marketing bundle is to purchase the business bundle. So the holiday campaigns are part of the business bundle if you purchase that, but not part of the marketing bundle. So anyways, so still 3 points towards my Cancun trip, and a great customer that wants to use it moving forward. So I sent cards and brownies to all the people that Sue and I met the other day. Sue had a great appointment with a gal that really some good potential there. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. And
yeah, and you had a great appointment with your radio station.
good. Yeah. Promising with a radio station. It's called Alpha Media. They have, I want to say 100 radio stations across the US in several different states. Particularly in Lincoln, Nebraska, they have like 4 or 5 radio stations. And so they'd really like to see their salespeople using it. How they're intending to come in, I don't know yet at this point. I have it scheduled in my Biz Runner to follow up with them tomorrow. So I will be doing that. And this week's challenge, we have a little longer than normal for our challenge because we won't have a call next week due to my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. Yay. Gobble till you wobble, folks. This week's challenge, and we'll have until our call 2 weeks from today, will be to show the holiday bundle to 3 business owners. Yes, Steve, 3. Can you handle 3 after 45? How would you do that?
Realtors?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. It can be follow-ups for those people that just said, yes, we want to know.
One thing, in your BNI groups, if you're in a BNI or another leads group, I just made little business card size ads about the holiday bundle, and I made about 100 copies. There's 18 people in my BNI group. I told everybody, take as many as you want and pass them around. And so probably, 50 of them probably got taken. I don't know if, and then we have a website that leads them to the holiday bundle that I just put the website on it. But hopefully something will come from that. But I was encouraged that when I got my box back, half of them were gone.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
I'm presenting Tuesday at ours. I'll do that.
Yeah. Take something that has your website on it, or print out flyers of the holiday bundle and staple your card to it. Since your BNI has probably heard you present before, this time you could present specifically on the holiday bundle and take that new flyer.
So before we end, I did something at BNI this week that everybody kind of liked. And I had 3 pieces of mail in one day. And one of them was from a jewelry store. It was a promotional flyer with % off, so much jewelry. And the next one was from Hallmark, and it looked like a greeting card, and it came in an envelope that looked just like a send-out cards envelope with the blue printing on the front. And it was a greeting card saying they appreciated me as a customer, but inside it had a 20% off coupon to use at the store. And the third card was from my lawn people. They're actually customers of mine. And I think Tracy told you they sent out 1,200 and 1,300, 1,500 cards, whatever, last week. So I got mine, and it was beautiful. And it was just a Thanksgiving card. It had a really great message of appreciation. And that's all it was appreciation. So at my BNI, I talked about the difference between promotion and relationship building. And so I showed them the promotion piece, which I said I had already thrown in the trash, but then I dug it back out because I wanted to use it for an example. And then I showed them the relationship piece, which I almost cried while I was reading it to them. And then I showed them the Hallmark piece, which was a combination of the two. And then I just passed those around. And I think that for the people who've been listening to me yammer on about relationship marketing but didn't understand what I was talking about, I think that a lot of light bulbs went off just by having those examples.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Very
This
cool.
is Pamela.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, I thought I'm so quiet on all these meetings. I am there.
You know you're there.
I wanted to share an idea with you guys that I've decided to move forward with to kind of increase sales. And so I know a lot of photographers with my Tustoria business, custom photo gifts. I've got quite a network. And so I thought what I'm going to do is I want to share, of course, the holiday bundle with them. I already have 2 photographers who are preferred customers that are using the cards. And so what I did is I created a Christmas card. I incorporated our latest family photo
Oh,
that
that's
was taken.
beautiful.
That's
awesome.
cool.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And
Love it.
she's also one of my customers who loves it so much that she texted me when she got her card, and she was super excited, and she gave me a great testimonial. So I asked her if I could use it in this card that I send out to the photographers, and she said sure. So the photographers are going to get this card with a testimonial on the left side, a brief message on the right saying, wouldn't it be great to send a thank you card like this to your clients on this signature pearl paper, cardstock. And if you schedule a walkthrough by November 30th, because I figure they'll get it in a week, it's the holidays, whatever. If you schedule a walkthrough with me by November 30th, that there'll be a free offer. I don't know what that will be yet, but there'll be a free offer. So, but I think my strategy is going to be each week I'm going to send out a card to a small group of focused professionals, and then I'll follow up with them, in 2 weeks, because, they get the card and then you follow up with them the following week. And it's just kind of one more thing that I can be touching base with people and seeing what they think and seeing if I can get a walkthrough with them or, an appointment. So,
I don't think, Pam, if it was me, I don't think I would put a deadline on it. Because I've talked to several business owners who've already ordered their holiday gifts, cards, whatever, and that's not really their focus right now. But I would just,
what it is it's more of a call to action, like
yeah,
pick up the phone. And if they're not going to pick up the
Right.
phone, I'm still going to follow up with them with a phone call or a text, or I'll still touch base with them and see if they got it. But it's to get them to take action.
and maybe you could
That's
have a
great.
call to action. You can have your signature, your custom signature in your card if we meet by November 30th, versus offering a discount or anything like that. Because
I'm not offering a discount. I actually
for free anything, because you don't want to have to send sales in.
create the signatures. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, because November 30th is the deadline for the signature. So if they want their signature on the card, they have to have it by November 30th.
Yeah.
So maybe put something like that on there to for the card to include your custom signature. Please contact me before November 30th.
Yeah, good idea. Very
I
good
like
idea.
that. So,
Cool. Very cool.
all right. Well,
Can
we'll
I,
go
can I
with-
say one quick thing and we'll go? And this is to go back to Woody and maybe touch on your BNI, and then Sue, your BNI. One of the things that Jordan, when I talked to him on that coaching call, recommended I do, because I asked, what would you do if you were doing this realtor meeting? And he said, get 3 or 4 testimonials, put them on a sheet of paper, and give them to your realtors. Something that's applicable to them. So I did that. And basically, I didn't type them up because I thought, I can type anything up and say somebody said. I took Facebook screenshots
Mm-hmm.
and put them on a sheet of paper,
I like that.
put my card at the top, and made this sheet, and I printed off like 50 copies. So I was giving some business cards out, but I was folding this and say, put this in your purse, put this in your pocket. And I was sticking it in people's pockets and stuff. And they can read this later. But it tells that, Dan Holbrook on the Realtors Business Referral for Sendak cards, his little story he told about his card, and he got him a, $300,000 deal or whatever it was. And then, and then a little thing down here about holidays. So it was like a little flyer, kind of like what Sue's talking about, a little flyer. I think you mentioned the flyer, but you might do this with your BNI and Target, just with some testimonials. You can get on our Sendak card sites and find testimonials. I take my phone, find it, and get it on the page and just screenshot it.
Yeah, I like that.
Nothing fancy, and to just stick them on a Word document and print them off, and you can hand those out, and people can take those with them, and they can read those. And the ones that read those and then call you back, they're in.
Yeah.
Of course, you're still going to do your follow-ups and call people, but there'll be a handful of them that'll actually read these testimonials, and it'll resonate with them. So that was something Jordan had me do, suggested I do, and I did that. And I'm thinking that's going to also be a piece of paper out there that's, providing some education. Great call, guys.
That's a really cool tip. Thank you, Steve. All right. Well, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, I have a question
Yes.
about the Android app. Should I tell the new customer who has an Android app can't get photos to stick, to delete it and reload it?
I think that's what Rob said. Is that, yeah.
Wait a second.
Actually, when I went to the Play Store and looked up the Send Out Cards app, the button said update. So all I had to do was click on that, and it updated the app. And in the past, we have had to delete the app and reinstall it, but this time the update button actually worked.
Very good.
Okay, I'll tell John. Thanks.
Very good. Awesome.
So if
Well, you got my number. If you or whoever you're working with has any problems with Android, I'm always here and I'm willing to help if I can.
Thanks.
Rob, I have a question. I have somebody that tried to do a walkthrough on their Android and it wouldn't load the picture like you're saying. But if they don't have an account yet, they can't update, right? So if I shared the app to them, can they update that app even though they haven't sent a card yet?
Yeah, they should be able to update the app because the app is totally separate from having an account. They wouldn't be able to use the app until they could go through the process, but they wouldn't have an account until they actually sent the card.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I just want you all to know that I'm thankful for all of you. Love you guys. And show the holiday bundle to at least 3 business owners before our next meeting. And keep earning points for Cancun, Steve. Way to go, buddy.
I gotta go get my tan on now.
Right? Yeah, I know. Absolutely. So,
Hey,
yeah.
I want to throw this out there real quick before we leave.
Uh-huh.
I was late getting on the call, but I see Amanda's image here on the screen,
Uh-huh.
and the whole call I was trying to figure out why she was in a dark room walking around with a flashlight. But now I can see that her sun visor up there, so I know she's in the car and those street lights going by.
Yep, she is driving back from the other building that she is the executive director of, 35 minutes away. So that's dedication, folks. She works
That is,
all
Amanda. We love
the way
you.
out of town in an assisted living facility and gets on this call with us while she drives home. So that's
Absolutely.
yeah. We love you, Amanda.
Thank you. I love you guys too.
Is that rain in her eyes? She got rain in her eyes.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hearts to everybody. Say a little prayer to find my wedding ring.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh my.
This is number 2 that she's lost, folks.
Yeah, second wedding ring lost. The first one took me 33 years to lose. This one took me a year.
Hey, Sue,
About to take them off.
turn a glass upside down on your counter. My wife's Italian. And
Uh-huh.
turn a glass upside down on your counter.
Okay, I'll try it. I've already played the St.
I-
Anthony. Didn't help.
I already prayed to St. Anthony as soon as you said it.
You gotta do the last thing. And pray to St. Anthony.
Box on the calendar.
So, all right. I love all of you, and I will see you all in 2 weeks. And
Big hug.
yes, big hugs. Ugh. Keep posting in Team Infinity, guys, and keep sharing good thoughts and good vibes. And I love you all, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Good
Gobble till you
night.
wobble, right?
Bye, guys.
Wobble till you wobble. Good night.